You know, if you can smell the water before you get in it without scratching it, then it's probably got something in there that you need to find. My biggest mistake was getting in right there. That's a lot deeper than it looks. It's almost up to my knees, and I've got to get in the middle right there and work my way upstream. But one of the benefits of turning around is you get to pick this up, let it drain a little bit, and put it right there. I'm still standing in the same spot because of it's deep that way and it's deep the other way. I'll be here for a few minutes. I gave up. There's nowhere to go. This is the last place I wanted to get the water in my boots. But it's the only place I knew I would find oh, this water stinks. Made in China, Tuxton. So the question is, China like recently or China like? Hey Ma, you want me to get out the good China? I like this older China because a lot of people didn't know it, but when you bought it, oh, it smells like dead fish and dead animals in here. It's not working anyway. So let's just go. If you're just now joining my incredible, amazing adventures, what you're gonna find is that I like looking for junk in city creeks, and sometimes you find it. This particular creek is the one where my bride and I came a couple of years ago and found like 130 spoons. I got the hippopotamuses, and I still don't know what those spoons are used for. They were on one. There's another plate. Still don't know what those spoons were used for. But there's been many storms in the past 2 or 3 years since we found all the spoons. So I'm wondering if there may be, just maybe, $138 spoons. That is the same brand of plate. Maybe somebody has lunch down here. Maybe they don't. You know, it really does. I'm still hesitant to fill up my boots, but I'm thinking it just doesn't matter anymore, that I have no choice. For some reason, I feel like the water with the sun on it is cleaner than the water in the shade. I don't think that's true, but it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't smell so bad. I want to slip over here and see if there are any more of those spoons. I don't know where they were. I'm pretty sure we didn't get all of them, because how do you pick up over 100 spoons in one spot? And be sure you got all of them. One of the problems with getting your feet wet in here is you get on stuff like this and you think, oh, that's not gonna be slick. But that dark on there is just dried moss, and it is slick. I do not see any more spoons. Why does this dude keep talking about spoons? I don't know. How can did I came to this channel and watch this video? Me either, but we all want something to do right now. I gotta find one more spoon just to prove it to you. In case you do not want to go back. Look, there's ancient Greece things in here, so you can tell that we're in Athens. Maybe they were up there. There are always knives in City Creek. Steak, pork, or chicken. Every City Creek has a knife or a pocket. One of the cool things about City Creeks that they're moving, but you can't really tell because it takes a little effort for all the water to get through the barrier down there. So what you end up with is leaves that are barely moving. Of course the wind picked up when I said that, but good stagnant water is usually never cold. So you can be thankful for that. See, there's always something to be thankful for. And a good batch of stagnant water is something we all hope for in life. I really can't see in the water unless I'm in the sunny spot. So I'm pretty confident that you cannot either. I've been debating between the, I think it's an Osmo camera or the other ones. Bottom line is they're all the same. As long as they're good light, a good old Samsung S3 will do just as good as any other camera. Probably better in low light. So I'll stick with the GoPro. It's in my left hand. And we'll keep traveling. There's never a lot in here, but then when there is stuff in here, you'll find it like that. Nobody really knows what that is, and that's not what's important right now. You can usually tell the health of a stream that is filled by runoff by the things that live in it. Nothing really lives in here except an occasional midland water snake and your average everyday creek minnow. And your average everyday creek minnow would live in a septic tank. That's just the way they roll. A good stream or creek or a creek, whatever you call it, would have thousands of mussels in it. It would be full. They'd be on everything, and they'd be filtering out all the impurities, and they'd be doing a great job. But I've never seen any in here. Hopefully the day will come. So we're going to make our way up to the interstate, which is right up here. Get underneath it and see if anybody has thrown anything out that we need to find. When we finish, I'm gonna go back to the base camp and pressure wash my legs. The only way to get all the chemicals, forever chemicals, out of your skin is to pressure wash it. You want to get down to the base layer to where the water turns red, and then you know you start over with some fresh layers. There's a lot of big trash in here that I've never seen before, but it has been a while. Can you imagine how beautiful this was back when it was beautiful? I mean, it still looks good, but I mean beautiful like back when you could, when kids might have played in it. People camped beside it. I mean, it had to have happened at one time in history. Until it became a spot where everything was dumped. You could take a chance and try to walk up those falls, or you cannot. I'm gonna choose I cannot, and hope I can make it around here. Up these rocks without slipping and going down there. A good healthy creek would have a snake on every peak in here. There's our bridge way up there. And we would have seen the snake by now. I'm still trying not to fall. Falling in water is one thing. Falling on these rocks is two things. Of course, because it's more than one thing. In this particular area, you think you have it whipped because you made it around. But this flat, super incredibly flat bedrock is like glass. You will do about 8 different versions of the safety dance. There's some caves up here we'll adventure in when winter comes around. But you'll do a lot of versions of the safety dance when you slip on these rocks. You'll do every dance you know of, trying to keep stood upright. That absolutely looks like an incredibly amazing knife, doesn't it? That I can't get out of the water. But it is not. It is a piece of tree bark. It tricked me. I don't get my money back. My oldest squirrel just called. You don't know that because I've had the camera off, and she said, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I said, "What?" She said, "I want to get into whitewater rafting. You know, like get into some insane things or whatever, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "You talking about those little tiny whitewater kayaks where people wear helmets and go upside down and all that?" So she said, yeah. I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm just kidding. She is adventurous as everything. I guess simply walking creeks does not float her boat anymore. I don't know where she gets that from. I'm just kidding. I would love it. So I'm probably gonna start doing that with her, because We're all looking for some pretty impressive way to leave the world, right? And if you could do it upside down in a kayak, why not? I'm just kidding. It actually scares me. I've watched those people do that before. Man, I just know what's under the water, all the rocks, and I guess that's why they wear helmets, but my goodness. I'm trying not to fall down and crack my melon on these. I may take the high road back, but I don't know. So that's what she wants to do now. This is like glass. If the camera goes off, or actually stays on, and is underwater until the battery dies, it means I fell down. And hit my head and couldn't get up. So when the video comes out, then you'll know. I got just a little further to go and I cannot see the bottom. Okay, I made it to the other side. The good news about this is we have found one yellow golf ball. That makes it well worth the trip. I'm always concerned about being under the interstate up here too. I've only been under one bridge where somebody threw trash off. They didn't know I was down there, but it just came raining down. Philip Collins had a song about it. He was singing, "Oh, how I wish it would rain down." And if he only knew, he wouldn't be simply jesting about things like that, because it's not funny. We're almost there. Still not a single mussel, not a single snake, not a single crawfish, and not a clam to bake. But there are many, fell down again, creek minnows. We're almost there. There appears to be some sort of obstruction up there. So the water is either 6 feet high on the other side, or it's not. Those are the only two options. That's what happens when you ride your bicycle down the interstate. Eisenhower did not intend for bicycles to be ridden down there. There's 2 bicycles. Okay, we're gonna go back this way and try to go across a little more shallows. Let's see what's on the other side. So many ants. Well, it's not high at all, other than that. There should be about 3 or 4 snakes on it, but there are none. I did see one massive frog in here a long time ago. A long time ago. Hey, there's a common creek wheel. Now it's time to see what brand. We can determine what kind of wagon it came off of. Except I can't read it. Whew, we made it this far though. I got out. I don't know if you remember the video I did up here. This runs alongside the creek. But I came down here after a car wreck, and I found a class ring and a little silver ring with 2 stones. Neither had anything to do with the car wreck. I found the owner of the class ring. The other ring didn't happen. But this is the spot to go to see where rings end up when your girlfriend or boyfriend has had enough. Oh, the butterfly scared me. How does a butterfly scare me? Check it. There's going to be something here. It's going to be impressive in a minute. More impressive than that. But we just have to find it. I thought that was a necklace, but it is not. You throw things down here when you want no one to ever find them, except me. That's a lot, ain't it? So many people come over the bridges and just throw everything out the window. Or they wreck and go down this hill, or that hill. But more than likely, I'm the one you're looking for. I smell freshly exhaled wacky tacky, the Scooby Dooby, if you will, which means we are not alone, or either it just blew down here from above. Check it. There were 3 plastic crosses. People throw away anything. The rings were easy to find. I mean, there maybe not be that many. I mean, how many people can you really expect to throw a ring off the side right here? The class ring, the story still was, and it still is and was. According to the fellow I returned it to, who was the owner, he said his girlfriend had her arm hang out the window and they got too close to a stop sign and it cut her arm off. Threw her arm down here, which has long been gone, but the ring stayed. That's not true at all. This dude and his girlfriend in high school were riding down this road, not this road. And she had her arm hanging out the window, and an eagle was somewhere in Michigan. It had nothing to do with the story, but it was there. And the ring was too big, and she did not even know she had lost it. You know, we went in Bed Bath and Booty Work place, and they've got a hand soap called newborn diaper. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it's green. So the ring just fell down here. She just lost it, swinging her arm in the window. Probably doing this in the wind. Anyone else ever put their hand out the window and do that? Okay, show of hands. Who here has woken up in Never mind. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up. I don't see anything, do y'all? It was in this kind of stuff, and it just stood out like a ring should. Well, I think if you would focus a little more and stop running your mouth, that you might find something. I agree. So take it to the limit. One more time. Take it. And let's keep looking. I don't see anything. If you're tired of looking, go ahead and close out and go do your best. See if you can find a video more exciting than this one. You're not gonna be able to. And don't come back fussing at me, because you're the one that clicked next video. Something just dripped on me. Somebody just spit out their window. Which reminds me of a story. When I was in the 6th grade somewhere in Georgia, a teacher came up to me and asked me what time it was. I had no idea, because I never learned to tell time. Because a lot of people don't know it, especially nowadays. You had to be able to do arithmetics to do time. Like if I tell my offspring it's 15 till 7, they have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm not kidding. Go up and ask any teenager what time it is. And tell them, you say, do you know what 15 till 6 is? Or it's 25 to 6, or, you know, I don't know if you take it back that far, or 10 to 6. What time is that? They'll say, yes, 5:52 or 5:53, because that's what their devices tell them. That has nothing to do with the story I wanted to tell you about being in the 6th grade in Georgia. I was in the playground, and a bird pooed on my shoulder. That's the whole story. Soda pop suckers. No, top pops suckers. So you ask yourself, if I was an ant, would I build an ant bed under a sugar factory? Absolutely. If I was a snake, would I be under here? Absolutely. With those ants. You gotta ask yourself, if you had a boat, would you go out on the ocean? And if you had a pony, riding on that boat, there is nothing down here to harvest. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Just for y'all, I'm gonna stay out of the water since it's too deep, and we're gonna head back this way. And if the caves aren't too like that, we may adventure in. It's in the low 80s. No, the high 80s today, about 89 or 90. And I wanted to know if a train was coming before I got up here and started walking. So I put my ear on there, and I've got a blister. If my mother was still alive, she would say, "Boy, how many times I done told you not to put your ears on the tracks in the summertime?" Her favorite story is about how she used to doctor me up all the time. Wish she did. I had a brother in Ohio who's passed now, and he slammed my hand in a barn door I thought I was gonna lose a phalange. So after my dad carried me back to the house, because it was about 95 degrees and they were down from Ohio. You know how you people are from Ohio. You just got this way about you that's just, you're just so aggressive. I'm just kidding, but you talk funny. Okay, yeah, that's true. So my brother was down and he slammed my hand in the barn door. And as I was walking up to my dad and uncle and everybody outside on the porch, I passed out in the grass down in the field. So he came down and got me and carried me to the house. When I came to, she was cleaning my finger and had a pair of scissors in her hand and said, "Hold still." And the big flap of skin that had opened up on my finger, instead of washing it off and closing it back up, she held it up with one hand and cut it off with the other hand. It'd been good on a biscuit, but it hurt. Then I think she dumped a bunch of white shoe polish on it, like was the cure-all for everything. You know, mosquito bites and poison ivy and poison oak. And said, "Now get back out in the yard and play." And so I did. Her other favorite story to tell about me was I caught a blue heron in the water in the creek one time. I know y'all have heard this story a million times. That's proof Japan does exist. Tell me if you know why. Anyway, I caught a blue heron, put it up my lap. My friend took a picture in it, and it poked me on the forehead like this with its mouth open about that wide. And it went clunk, and it put 2 holes almost right between my eyeballs, but a little more up on my forehead. Just a few drops of blood, but it hurt. So I threw the fish, it wasn't a fish, I threw the bird back in the water. Only reason I could pick it up because it had got too deep and it couldn't reach the bottom to flap its wings to get out of the water. So it was struggling as it tried to run from us. Of course, I was young and I thought, I'm gonna catch this bird. And I did. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, I missed it. I just heard a deer blow and it jumped up through there, but the reaction time of this GoPro is garb. You hear it blowing? Do you hear it blowing? It jumped up, it was bedded down over there and then hopped up through there. Maybe we'll see another. I'll keep you pointed that way. Tell me if you see another deer. I think I hear a train. Maybe it won't come up here. Two deer. Do you see them? That was a little buck up there. See a little buck up there? The sun is right in their face, but the one up there in the far part in the shade is looking at me, trying to figure out what I am. Okay, they both see me now. Do y'all see them? I'm gonna stand here until the train comes. Actually, I'm going to talk to them in their native tongue. That might have been the wrong dialect. They're offended. When you start to see the deer in the kudzu, that means a lot of stuff's slowing down in the woods. Not completely, don't go get me wrong, thinking you're the deer expert and I'm not. Or thinking I am and you're not. Or, oh, they're still blowing at me. These Birmingham deer may not speak the same deer that ours speak. But unless we see another one, those deer are impressive. That's 3 we saw. 2 ducks and a bow. And we found that, which made it worthwhile. I got to looking up stats on YouTube. 75% of y'all who watch my videos are not subscribed. I'm not telling you to subscribe, but if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I'd just like to see the change it'd make in the number. Not that that means anything. My bride was so excited when I got the 100,000 plaque. I was too, but I wanted it more for her. Because as you all know, I do this for y'all. First it was for my offspring. Now they're growing up, moving away. But now I do it for you guys. One of these days I'm going to have that boat. Like Uncle Martin, I'm going to go out on the ocean and take my pony on that boat. Thanks for watching my videos.